This is the story of a 31-year-old center from Sombor, Serbia, drafted 41st overall while ESPN ran a Taco Bell commercial, who now sits as the most complete basketball player on the planet. In the 2025-26 season, Nikola Jokic is averaging 28.7 points, 12.7 rebounds, and 10.7 assists per game. And on Christmas Day, he posted 56 points, 16 rebounds, and 15 assists before coming back from 16 games on the injured list to score 31 points in 24 minutes. None of those things had happened before. And now a fourth MVP award sits within reach, a prize no center has claimed since Shaquille O'Neal in 2000. A rival is closing in, a bone bruise left its mark, and a league eligibility rule could strip the trophy away before the season ends. What follows is why what Jokic is doing right now is something basketball has genuinely never seen before. Skip the highlight reel for a moment, because the last 2 weeks tell this story better than any single clip could. On January 30th, Jokic returned to the floor for the first time in 16 games, bone bruise and all, and delivered 31 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals against the Los Angeles Clippers in just 24 minutes of play, which made him the first player in NBA history to reach 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in under 25 minutes. Denver won 122-109. First game back, 24 minutes. February 7th brought the Chicago Bulls to Ball Arena, and that's when Jokic authored another line nobody had seen: 22 points, 17 assists, and 14 rebounds in a 136-120 win, with his 182nd career triple-double carrying him past Oscar Robertson into sole possession of second place on the all-time list. March 2nd against the Utah Jazz, Jokic was not fully right physically, but Denver still secured a 128-125 win after he put up 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists, leaning on Jamal Murray to carry some of the weight while finding his footing. 2 days ago, March 5th, the Los Angeles Lakers came to Denver carrying the best clutch record in the NBA, 17-5 in close games, with Luka Doncic and LeBron James on the floor. Jokic finished with 28 points, 12 rebounds, and 13 assists, scored 4 straight points inside the final 2 minutes to protect the lead, and closed the game with an 8-footer at the 22.3-second mark. Denver 120, Los Angeles 113. Across those last 5 games, Jokic averaged 27.6 points, 13.2 rebounds, and 9.4 assists, produced without several key forwards on the roster. That is not a player fading down the stretch. That is a player pulling a depleted team through a Western Conference playoff race where one bad week can cost you a seed. To understand how significant Christmas was, it helps to see what the season looked like heading into it. Through his first 30 games, Jokic put up 29.6 points, 12.2 rebounds, and 11.0 assists per game, connecting on 60.5% of his shots from the field and 43.5% from 3, numbers so far outside the standard range for a center that posting them in an NBA 2K franchise would get the sliders questioned. Of the 96 players in NBA history to average at least 30 points per game in a season, Jokic ranked first in true shooting percentage and led the entire league in player efficiency rating, while Denver generated 126.9 points per 100 possessions with him on the floor, the best rate among any player averaging 30-plus minutes. Within the same 48 minutes, he functioned as the point guard, the post scorer, the pick-and-roll hub, and the best passing center the sport has produced. None of that, though, is what people kept bringing up once December ended. What nobody could stop discussing was what happened on the 25th. December 25th, 2025, 3 Denver starters sat out: Christian Braun, Cam Johnson, and Aaron Gordon. Minnesota came to town, the game stretched to overtime, and worth noting before the numbers, Jokic does not celebrate Christmas on December 25th. Serbian Orthodox, his Christmas lands on January 7th. That fact did nothing to change what unfolded. 56 points, 16 rebounds, 15 assists, shooting 15 of 21 from the field and 22 of 23 from the foul line. No player in NBA history had ever posted a 55-point, 15-rebound, 15-assist performance before that night, and in overtime alone, Jokic scored 18 points, breaking Stephen Curry's record of 17 from 2016, the highest overtime scoring total in either the regular season or the playoffs. Denver won 142-138. After it was over, a reporter asked what Jokic thought of what he had just produced. His full answer: "I had a good game." That response tells you exactly who Jokic is. a player who breaks records with the energy of someone finishing a decent shift at work, without ceremony, without fanfare. Denver also swept the Timberwolves season series on that performance, 3-0, sending a message to the team they've had to navigate in the playoffs in recent years. 4 days later, on December 29th in Miami, Jokic hyperextended his left knee and walked off the floor, averaging 29.9 points, 12.4 rebounds, and 11.1 assists at the time. Doctors confirmed a bone bruise, not a surgical situation, but a 4-week re-evaluation timeline that stretched into the longest absence of his career, 16 games total. Prior to that night, Jokic had not missed more than 5 consecutive games since 2017, which meant the Nuggets and his MVP case entered unfamiliar territory. And that's when the NBA's 65-game eligibility rule entered the conversation in a serious way, because under that rule, any player appearing in fewer than 65 regular season games cannot receive end-of-season awards, MVP included. 1 additional missed game kept him eligible. 2 more would remove him from consideration entirely. January 30th, Ball Arena, back against the Clippers. Limited to 24 minutes, Jokic posted 31 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals, and in doing so became the first player in NBA history to reach 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in under 25 minutes of play. Asked afterward whether the 65-game rule influenced his return date, his answer was direct. Not even a little bit. On the knee itself, he put it this way: "I was not scared to use it. I was not thinking about it while I'm running, while I'm playing. I think that's a good sign I'm ready." Here's where the honest accounting of this season gets complicated. Since returning, the efficiency numbers dropped noticeably: 46.6% from the field in February, 31.1% from 3, a 12.5% decline in accuracy from inside the arc compared to his pre-injury baseline, and 4.3 turnovers per game. Denver went 6-8 across that stretch. That is real, and anyone calling this a clean MVP run needs to acknowledge it. And yet, in those same 11 February games, Jokic averaged 25.6 points, 14.0 rebounds, and 9.6 assists per game, a monthly stat line that only one player in the history of the NBA had posted before with a minimum of 5 games played. That player was Wilt Chamberlain in March of 1968. Playing through the rust of a bone bruise, shooting below his own standards, and Jokic still landed in Wilt Chamberlain territory. As of March 6, 2026, ESPN polled 100 media members, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander collected 78 first-place votes against Jokic's 18, with Cade Cunningham and Victor Wembanyama filling out the top 4. Sportsbooks list the same order: SGA as the favorite, Jokic second. The case for SGA holds up under scrutiny, averaging 31.8 points per game on 55.4% shooting, leading Oklahoma City to a 49-15 record, which is the best in the entire league, posting 12.0 win shares to lead all players in the sport. Add in that SGA is the reigning Finals MVP, and this is not a weak argument. The case for Jokic, though, runs deeper into the numbers. Denver plays 23.1 points per 100 possessions better with him on the floor than off, the second largest on/off swing in the league. And over their past 14 games specifically, the team's net rating sits at plus 9.3 when Jokic plays and minus 9.4 when he rests. His field goal percentage runs 13.9% above expected, the highest gap in the league by a clear margin. 3 MVP trophies and a 56-point Christmas Day triple-double also do not appear anywhere on SGA's resume. The honest counter: SGA has not missed a game. His team owns the best record in basketball, and Jokic's shooting since the injury has not climbed back to where it sat in November and December. 1 more missed game ends his eligibility entirely. With 4 weeks remaining, neither player has closed this out. A 4th MVP would carry weight that extends well beyond this season. MVP honors came in 2021, 2022, and 2024 for Jokic, and entering this season, he already owned 5 consecutive top 2 finishes in the voting. A 6th consecutive top 2 finish, regardless of whether he wins outright, would match the all-time record held by Bill Russell and Larry Bird. Win outright, and Jokic becomes the first center to claim the award since Shaquille O'Neal in 2000, joins Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the only players to win 4 MVPs in the three-point era, and does all of it as the 41st pick in the 2014 draft, a second-rounder whose selection night aired on ESPN as a ticker during a fast food commercial while he slept at home in Serbia. After the greatest individual performance of the 2025-26 season, that same player told a reporter he had a good game. Nikola Jokic grew up in a two-bedroom apartment in Sombor, Serbia, was taken 41st overall in a draft he did not watch live, and spent the following decade building a case as the most complete player in the history of the sport, responding to each new record with the same quiet energy as someone who just finished a shift and is already thinking about getting home. SGA is a real MVP candidate. The 65-game rule still threatens Jokic's eligibility. The post-injury shooting numbers have not fully recovered. Watch what this man does to a basketball, though. The way he reads the floor 3 possessions before the play develops, the way he scores from anywhere, the way Denver's net rating swings nearly 19 points in the wrong direction the moment he sits down. Looking at the full body of evidence from this season, the argument that someone else deserves it more is a genuinely hard one to make. 4 weeks left. The award goes to whoever earns it between now and then. We'll know soon enough.